So, I'm gonna start right now. Good morning. Today I will present my research paper called Comparative Analysis of Readability in Digital Financial Communication in English and Spanish. This project has been elaborated by and with the help of the Department of Informatics of the Carlos III University, alongside with my tutor, Ana María Iglesias. The study itself analyzes how financial texts may differ in structure across languages and whether automated rewriting can improve readability while preserving meaning. The key question is, does readability depend more on language or on how the text is structured? Before explaining how we proceeded, it is important to understand why readability in finance matters. Financial communication influences investor decisions. If texts are too complex, they can create confusion and reduce trust. Also, financial language is usually dense and technical, which makes it difficult for non-specialist readers. And at the same time, digital and fintech platforms are expanding access to financial information. So for this reason, improving and measuring readability becomes especially relevant. This study has three main objectives. First, to compare readability in both English and Spanish financial news. Secondly, to test whether automated rewriting can improve clarity. And third, to analyze whether improving readability affects the original meaning. These objectives lead to one central key question. Is there a trade-off between readability and semantic preservation? The corpus we used was created specifically for this study by us. We will gladly share it with the rest of you. And it includes 100 financial news articles, 50 in English and 50 in Spanish from three different websites, each one. For the English articles, we generated up to 4 versions. The original text, the simplified version, a Spanish translation, and the simplified version of that Spanish translation. And for the Spanish one, we use only the original and simplified versions. We did not translate it back into English. Why did we do that? We kept English as the reference starting language to maintain one single translation direction. Translating in both directions would have introduced more variability and reduced control in the comparison. To measure readability, we use a different index for each one of the languages. For English, we use the Flesch Reading Ease Index, and for the Spanish, we use the Fernandez-Huerta Index, which is the adapted version for Spanish. Both metrics are based mainly on sentence length and syllable count, so they focus only on structural complexity. To evaluate meaning preservation, we use semantic similarity models, such as SBERT, which measures similarity at the sentence level, and BERT scores, which specialize in token-level comparisons. This combination allowed us to evaluate both readability, improvement, and semantic stability at the same time. To improve readability, we did not use a single prompt. Instead, we tested multiple rewriting prompts throughout an iterative process. Each version was evaluated using the same goal, improve readability while maintaining semantic meaning. After each test, we refined the prompt step by step to better balance clarity and semantic similarity. Just to clarify, our prompts were implemented using the GPT, the 5.2 version, for its accessibility and strong performance. This control process allowed us to compare different strategies, as we're going to see in the next slides. But first, a key finding of this study is was the trade-off between readability and meaning, as we have talked in the previous slides. If rewriting is more aggressive, readability improves a lot, but the text moves further away from the original meaning. On the other hand, if rewriting is more conservative, meaning is preserved, but readability improves only a little. So the best solution is to find a balance between improving clarity without changing the text too much. This balance is the main idea behind the final prompt selection. As we can see in these next slides, for example, in this table, we are comparing a test of a series of texts we pass through the different prompts in Spanish. As we can see, our prompts improve readability compared to the original version, which had a media of 50 points. That's why all the readability column is highlighted in blue. However, readability alone was not the only criteria we used, as we have said in the other slides, which also we also evaluated semantic similarity using SBERT and BERT score. The prompt highlighted in green was selected as the final one for a Spanish prompting because it achieved a strong improvement in readability while maintaining a high semantic similarity. For the English one, the original text again has a median of roughly 50 points, but this time only 2 prompts improve readability from the original one, which was the one with 75 points, which, as we can see in the SBERT and BERT scores, was very aggressive, and thus we didn't go forward with that. And prompt 7, which not only improve median readability, the median readability score, but also maintain a good semantic cohesion with the original text. After identifying the optimal balance between readability and meaning, those were the final prompts we ended up using. As we can see, both prompts include very explicit instructions such as shorter sentences, preserve numerical data, and no removal of financial information. Once we applied the selected prompts to all text, those were the final results. In the original versions, both in English and Spanish, the readability scores were roughly 50%. And after simplification, both of them improve. For example, English up to 56% roughly, and Spanish up to 59%. For the translated version of English to Spanish, the readability remains mainly the same, and also the simplified version is online with the simplified version for the English original text. Overall, simplification consistently improves readability across all cases, but Spanish tends to show slightly higher scores, but the differences are relatively small. To summarize the main findings, first, the strongest impact on readability comes from text transformation and not the language itself. Second, simplification consistently improves readability in both English and Spanish financial text. And third, the Spanish text tends to show a slightly higher readability score than the English. However, these are obviously different, relatively small differences. Overall, the results suggest that structural changes have a greater effect on readability than language differences. And to conclude with, readability in financial text can be improved without major semantic distortion. As we have said previously, structural simplification has a stronger impact on readability than language differences. And at the same time, the readability semantic trade-off remains a core part in specialized financial text. what we want to do for future research is to extend that to other languages, to measure with different metrics, including the new version of gLw, which was explained yesterday, and to use more sources of information to increase variability. But overall, this research shows that automated rewriting can support clearer and more accessible financial communication when applied in a controlled way. And with that, I conclude my presentation. If you have any questions, I will be glad to answer them.
Thank you very much, Jaime. And also thank you very much for keeping in time, because that can make that the schedule goes. But it was clear. Thank you. But somebody wants to make comments, questions? Anyone? Please raise your hand. Whoever wants to state something.
I actually want to make a question. Any of your prompts just asked to improve the scores? Just asking for that. Just keep the meaning and improve the scores.
Yeah, I did in some of those prompts. In fact, I tried to make prompts to analyze, which try to, I don't know, to try to adapt themselves to the both Flesch reading scores and the Fernandez Huerta scores, which were the aggressive prompts I talked earlier, that simplify the text very well and improve a lot more the readability score than all the prompts, but it destroy completely the semantic cohesion in comparison to the original text. I don't think if I have answered your question.
So that was kind of your original prompts instead of the last. So because the ones you saw, what was showing is improved readability.
Yeah, the final prompts I showed in the slides were the final prompts. We try to balance between the readability and semantic cohesion to analyze all the possible scenarios. I also try to use a very aggressive prompting just to see how could it affect the semantic cohesion and the readability scores.
I have another question. Is how do you evaluate the semantic consistency between the original text and the second? How do you evaluate that? How do you analyze
that? Well, I mainly use the SBERT and BERT scores, mainly the medians. I did it. I'm going to try to explain myself. The SBERT, both SBERT and BERT scores evaluation, I did it with the first paragraph. They find it between the original text and the simplified version, and also evaluated between the best paragraph that that could be related to the original paragraph. And in both ways, the aggressive prompting got very low scores, even if I link it to the best paragraph they could find, and based on that, I make a decision.
And I have a question. When you recheck the semantic coherence, did you use the same large language model? I would like to know, because it's known, and there's some research about this, that LLM engines used to like themselves a lot. That it's if I ask ChatGPT to write something and then I ask about what do you think about this writing, ChatGPT will love it and maybe Gemini won't. So did you use the same engine for measure semantic coherence, the same engine that you used to just make the simplification, well, not the simplification, but the fix of the complexity of the text?
No, but I think he's an expert.
Uh,
Yes, you use the same model for all the steps.
Yeah,
No, but-
I mean, I use the model for the simplification, but the evaluation, I did it by applying the SBERT and BERT scores, which was done by a Python class that I applied to the text. It was not done by prompting again to ChatGPT about what did it think about the text.
But what model did you use?
Sorry,
When you speak about expert evaluation, how is that? How does it work? The evaluation of the semantic coherence that is semantically consistent. Is it a human expert or how it works? Or you use an artificial intelligence model not by prompting, but what
No,
is the way?
I use metrics, the SBERT and the BERT score. It was mainly numerical analysis. It was not, I didn't have any expert to make the decision for me.
So you have a human expert?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I base my conclusions mainly on the numerical results.
But for the semantic coherence, for the semantic consistency.
Yeah, I got
Right.
I got the scores of semantic cohesion with BERT score and SBERT, which they show me the medians, and then based off that, I made a decision.
Okay. If we can discuss that in any case if we want to know more details, because we move to the next. So thank you very much, Jaime.
Thank you.